Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, President Trump's former Chief of Staff, Steve Bannon, has been ordered by Special Counsel Robert Mueller to testify before a grand jury, according to the New York Times. This is part of the investigation into whether there was any collusion between the Trump election team and Russia. It would be the first time someone from Mr. Trump's inner circle has been summoned to the grand jury. Earlier today, Mr. Bannon was testifying in private at the House Intelligence Committee. So let's go live now to Porrick O'Brien in Washington. Porrick.
Kathy, Stephen Bannon has gone by many a moniker over the last months and years. We've had Sloppy Steve from Donald Trump. We've had the great ideological architect of the Trump project by others. Today, we are going with the ultimate political Icarus, a man who flew too close to a big yellow ball of fiery gas and got badly, badly burnt. Today, he crashed to earth not once, but twice. As we speak, he's in the building behind me being grilled by the House Intelligence Committee on alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 election. But literally, as he was giving that evidence, news started to percolate through that he was being handed a subpoena to appear in front of a grand jury by the Robert Mueller investigation. Now, that is explosive stuff, because as far as we know, that's the first time one of Trump's inner circle has been giving a subpoena to appear in front of a grand jury in all of these investigations. A word of caution: it may be a tactical move by Mueller. He may be doing this in order to give Bannon the option of being interviewed by investigators and thus forgo the opportunity to appear in front of that grand jury. But this is an enormously significant move. Why are we here? Three words: fire and fury. That explosive book by Michael Wolff, and in it, in interviews with Bannon, Wolff says that Bannon spoke about the great Achilles heel of the Trump inner circle being possible Russian money laundering. Let's step back for a moment. Remember all the noise from Trump around the Mueller investigation. He was talking about it in terms of a sham, in terms of it being a Democratic Party political construct to do it damage, and once upon a time a belief that this would be all over sooner or later. Well, I think the sentiment here is they think it's all over. It's not now.
Porrick O'Brien. Well, now we're joined from Washington, D.C. by Mindy Finn, co-founder of Stand Up Republic, which works to defend and protect special counsel's investigation through grassroots organising. So how would you describe what's going on at the moment, at this very moment, with the summoning of the latest turn of events and Mr. Bannon himself?
Well, Bannon would be the subject of much intrigue by Robert Mueller's investigation, as well as the House Intel Committee investigation when he was in the White House. But certainly now that he's outside the White House and there was this breakup between Donald Trump, the president, and Steve Bannon, his former chief strategist, there was always a risk for Trump in this breakup that if he went too hard against Bannon, Bannon would further express his disloyalty or play out his disloyalty. Because this is a man, Steve Bannon, who, well, maybe not in, he was not in the Trump Tower meeting. He was not in his position at the campaign at the time. But after that meeting, throughout the campaign, the transition, and through much of the first year of the White House, he witnessed many of the conversations at the highest level with the president himself as he was reacting to this Russia investigation and its potential implications. That's what's playing out right now. Steve Bannon, remember, it's obviously we're all intrigued and wonder what he's going to say when he testifies, or if it ends up being that he interviews privately with Mueller's team. But think about what he's already said. He's already said that while he does not believe that necessarily there was collusion, that meeting in Trump Tower was treasonous. He did seem to back off from that a little bit, but also that his big concern with this Russia investigation is that not that they'll find collusion, but that they will uncover money laundering activities, and that is where our eyes should be turned. I think you certainly expect him to go into detail on that.
Yeah, well, the big question is whether he'll now choose, in fact, to go and give evidence to the special prosecutor, Mr. Mueller's investigation rather than go before a grand jury.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, there's some speculation, which I think is right, that this is a show of force by Mueller saying this is what I can do. I will subpoena you in front of the grand jury. So, you know, please cooperate and talk to me. I think it's a show of force to Steve Bannon, and he's negotiating. But it also sends a message to the Trump White House. Certainly, this is not something that's wrapping up soon, and you better play ball because we mean business.
Well, but it's getting sticky now, very sticky, and that might suggest that either Mr. Trump or the Republicans themselves will just shut this investigation down.
Yeah, they could. I think that there's certainly some within House Republicans that are in the Intel Committee. Certainly Devin Nunes has already been in this place where they're looking to shift focus to investigating Hillary Clinton and move away from investigating Trump. I think it's going to be quite difficult for them to do that. If you look at public polling in the U.S., a majority of Americans, they want to get to the bottom of this. They may be tired of hearing about it, but they believe that the investigation should be done thoroughly, that we should have answers. And they look very skeptically, understandably, at Trump's defensiveness on this issue. I mean, he is acting guilty in every possible way. That's not enough to show guilt. We need to get the details and the facts, and let this investigation play out. Let Mueller's team do its job,
right,
and the House Intel and Senate Intel committees do their job. But we need to get to the bottom of this, and the more Trump tries to push back, the more he damages himself by looking guilty.
Mindy Finn, thank you very much indeed for talking with us. Thank you.